working on our 3 and 2-digit addition, but go just a little bit farther today and explain more and talk about what's happening in these problems to really be awesome in that place value and addition skill, so we can always explain and tell what's happening when we add. So let's check out our learning target for Wednesday. It says, I can compare an addition problem's place value before and after bundling. So there's a lot going on here. Let me read it again. I can compare an addition problem's place value before and after bundling. So we're going to be comparing today, Super Scholars. Comparing is when we look at two things and talk about what's similar and different between them. So we're going to be comparing an addition problem and its place value, the hundreds, tens, and ones. We're going to be looking how the hundreds, tens, and ones change from before we bundle to after we bundle. So we can see exactly how these problems are able to be added together. So before we get to comparing, we just want to really practice and test our own independence on one of those addition problems from yesterday. So you are going to need out the same awesome whiteboard or tools you were using yesterday, whatever was working for you, as long as you had space to clearly write the vertical way and you had space to do a drawing so you could see the awesome place value. So get out whatever tools you need so you can have space for the vertical form and your drawing. So you can take more time if you need to get your materials, but we're going to get started on our first addition problem. We're going to solve 127 plus 18. So what's the first thing we do when we want to start solving? We need to set up our vertical way. And what's super important about our vertical way? What needs to be all in a line? The ones, tens, and hundreds need to be all in line. The place value needs to match. So let's go ahead, Super Scholars. Can you write 127 in hundreds, tens, and ones? Can you write that on your board? 100, 2 tens, 7 ones. So we make sure each place value is separate. Okay, now what are we adding? 18. So, Super Scholars, in 18, which place values are we going to use? Ones, tens, or hundreds? Which two place values will we use for 18? We're going to use the tens and the ones. Since there's only 2 digits, we only have the tens and the ones place. Can you go ahead and write 18 in the correct spot? Those tens and ones have to be lined up. 1 10 and 8 ones. Exactly. Good job. Okay. So we've got our problem set up. What's our next step? We need to draw our problem. Draw each number out in place value. So let's do that. Can we draw 127? Can you go ahead and do that? Let's draw 127 on our own. I'll do it, and you're going to do it at the same time. 127. Awesome. Check what you got. We already have our hundreds, tens, and ones. So you need to draw them all in the same order and place. Okay, can we draw 18? Look, we already have how many of each place? So can you draw 18 on your board as well? Here we go, everybody. Okay, do you have 127 and then 18? They're separate so you can see the difference. Okay, we've got vertical form set up and our drawing. Now we want to start adding. What place value do we start to add first? The ones, tens, or hundreds? What do we start with? The ones. We always have to start with the smallest value. So let's start adding on our chart. Let's see, my friends. We've got 7 and 8 ones. If we add them together, we're going to have to bundle. We're going to have to bundle all together. So, can you circle a group of ones that you'll need to bundle? Can you circle what would be a group of ones that you're going to need to bundle? Can you circle that on your chart? What would you need? This is what I found for my bundle. Yours might look different, but I have 8 ones, and I took 2 in order to make how many ones? 10, of course. Good job. You could have had 7 and then taken 3 to make 10 as well. Either way works as long as you have your group of 10 ones. And they make what? What's the larger unit? 110. We know that. Good job. Okay, we added our ones on our drawing. Can you show it on your vertical way? My friends, how would we show what we just did with our ones on our vertical way? Can you show that? What would it look like? Can you do that on your own board? Show how we added ones. What would we see? When adding 7 and 8, we made 110 and had 5 ones left over, which we can exactly see on our board. Good job. Okay, what's next? I added the ones. What do we need to add next? The tens. We gotta go next door and add the tens. Let's take a look. How many tens do we have? 2 and 2. How much is that? We have 4 tens in total. 4 tens. You could see it on your board as well as add 1 plus 2 plus 1. And last but not least, what do we need to look at last? We looked at the ones, tens, and then the hundreds. Good job. Okay. What about our hundreds? What do you notice? How many hundreds do we have? Just 1. Did we add any hundreds? No, we didn't. So we still just have 100. So what's our final answer? 145. Good job, Super Scholars. Okay, so we did this problem all together, but now for our next problem, you're gonna start to solve it all on your own. So, great start, but can we reset? Okay, awesome people. We are going to tackle 136 plus 16. But we have this extra part down below that we're going to use to add to our skills. As we solve this problem, we're going to be working to compare before we bundle and after we bundle. How does the place value change? So we have this extra step where we can explain and show our knowledge even more through comparing place value. But we'll get there in just a sec. So for 136 plus 16, can you go ahead and set it up on your whiteboard in the vertical way? Let me see what you got. 136 plus 16. Can you go ahead and write it on your board? What would I see? All of it. Awesome. Can you check your work with mine? 136 plus 16. You have the ones lined up. You have the tens lined up. And the hundreds as well. Good job. Okay. Next up, my friends, we need to draw our place value. So, I want you to be working on your own. Can you go ahead and draw the place value of 136 and 16? Can you go draw it on your own and then come back? Pause. Okay, you're back. Can you check your drawing? Do you have all the same place value that we wrote on our vertical form? Can you see the number just how it is? Okay, Super Scholars. So now that we have the drawing, we're going to talk about what does the place value of this number look like right now before we even bundle. We're just going to see how much we have in each place. So, what do you see? We've got 6 ones and 6 ones. How many ones does that make? 6 plus 6. How much is that? 6, 11. We have 12 ones in total. When we added 6 ones plus 6 ones, we got 12 ones all in total before we even do anything. And then, my friends, how many tens do we have? Before bundling, how many tens do we have? 3 plus 1. We just have 4 tens at the moment. That's all we have. And how many hundreds do we have? Just 1, exactly. So when we added our numbers together, without bundling, we had 12 ones, 4 tens, and 1 hundreds. But we know, Super Scholars, can we have 12 ones? No, we can't. So that's when we need to bundle. So that's what you are going to do now. I want you to bundle your ones that you need to completely solve this problem. So, you're going to go back and work independently and solve this problem. Right now, this is what you got, but we need to bundle in order to add. So you're going to pause, complete this problem, and then come back to check. Are you ready? Okay, pause. Okay, Super Scholars, thank you for working independently. Can you check your work? Did you get 152? So now that we had to bundle to solve, we're going to compare afterwards, what does our place value look like? Let's see. After we bundled our group of tens, how many ones were we left over with? How many ones do we have now? We just have 2 ones exactly. But then how many tens do we have? We started with 4 and then got 1 more. How many tens is that? 5 exactly. And what about hundreds? After we bundled, we still have just 100. So super scholars, looking at the before and after of this number's place value, we can see our 10 ones from 12 became a whole extra 10. We're seeing how this is happening so many different ways. With a drawing, looking at the vertical form, and place value. It might look like a lot at first, but it builds the math connections in our brain to see exactly what happened when we bundle to solve. Okay, let's do one last problem together. So everybody, reset. But we can't go to our next problem yet because we deserve a break. So come on, stand up on your feet with me. And I've got a holiday themed this or that. Are you up? Okay. Would you rather find the golden Easter egg? If so, you're going to touch the ceiling. Or would you rather catch a leprechaun? If so, you're going to touch the floor. So we've compared a leprechaun before, but now your choice is between finding the golden egg or catching a leprechaun. Which of these would you rather accomplish? I think I would rather catch a golden egg, so I'm going to touch the ceiling for 5 seconds. You got your choice? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. Got a nice stretch. But you can shake out the rest of your body as you sit right back down in your seat with your tools nice and ready. And last but not least, let's tackle 109 plus 41. So, first things first, can you write this problem in the vertical way? Can you write 109 plus 41 in their correct place value column? On your board, on your own. Can you set up the vertical way? Go ahead and write. Write on your own. Do it before me. Okay, do you have the same thing as me? 9 and 1, 1. 0 and 4 tenths. And just 100. Because each digit went in its correct place. Okay, check on vertical form. Can we now draw it out? I need you to draw 109 and then 41. Separate spots. I want you to do that on your own, paying attention to place value, and then come back. Okay, go ahead and draw. Pause. Okay, you're back. And your drawing should look just like mine. 109, 41. Okay, second grade. So we've added our numbers all together on the same chart. Let's see, before we bundle or do anything else, how many do we have of each unit? Let's see. How many ones do we have? 9 plus 1. 9 plus 1 is how many ones? We have 10 ones right now. And how many tens do we have? We just have 4. And how many hundreds? Just 1. So we want to see, before we do anything, when we add these numbers, we have 100, 4 tens, and 10 ones. But can we have 10 ones, super scholars, in the ones place? No, we can't have 10 ones. That's too big. We need to bundle. So in order to solve, we have to bundle. So that's what you're going to do on your own. So looking at this drawing, can you bundle the ones and solve and show your work with the vertical way? So can you finish your drawing and the vertical way and see what do you get for your answer? You're trying this one out on your own as an independent mathematician. Okay, pause. Okay, how did you do, super scholars? Can you check your work? Did you get the same answer as me? 150. Does your drawing look the same? Okay, let's see. Now that we've solved and it's after we've bundled, let's compare our place value. How might it be the same and different? Let's see. How many ones do we have now? After we bundled, how many ones do we have? 0, because we bundled them all together. So because we bundled, how many tens do we have now? 5. And then how many hundreds? 1. We still have 1. Our hundreds place didn't change, super scholars, because we didn't add anything and we didn't have to bundle our tens. So our hundreds place is the only place that didn't change, and it stayed the same, which you can see right when we're comparing before and after we bundled. But all our ones became an extra 10, which we could also see when we're comparing in unit form the before and after bundling. Okay, second grade. Thank you so much for going deeper in our math skills and looking at these problems in another way. That's what's awesome about math. You can see the problem so many different ways. So, as our last part of our lesson today, I want to walk you through your Dojo worksheet so you know exactly how to show your work. Okay, checking out our Dojo sheet, you have all the same parts that we were working on today. The vertical way, the drawing, as well as our comparison with the before place value and after place value. You're going to need to fill these out as you're solving the problem. You can see right now, super scholars, what the before place value is. How many hundreds, tens, and ones? So you want to write down, before you start bundling, how many hundreds, tens, and ones are there when you add 107 and 56. And then after you solve, you're going to write down what's the place value now. In your final answer, how many hundreds, tens, and ones are there? Remember, we're comparing they need to be different. Since we bundle, we are changing the place value. So just like you're showing that change in your drawing and your vertical way, you're going to also see that change when you write down the before bundling and after bundling place value. How many hundreds, tens, or ones are there each time? So you want to fill out every single section, Super Scholars. Today, I'm asking you to do an extra step, so you want to make sure you do it along with everything else since they all work together. Okay, awesome people. Thank you so much for deepening your skills today. So let's get comparing with that place value, and I can't wait to see what you got.